Hello, Lake Deaton family and friends. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, and today you get to read, or maybe you've already read, three of my favorite Psalms in the entire book of Psalms. Psalm 22, 23, and 24. Now, over time, those Psalms have a lot of people have called them the Great Shepherd Psalms because they describe the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The first Psalm, Psalm 22, is often called the Suffering Servant Psalm. And then Psalm 23, which is the most popular chapter of the entire Bible. More people know of Psalm 23 than any other chapter in the whole Bible, is called the Good Shepherd. And then Psalm 24 is called the Triumphant King. And early in the church, in fact, before the church even was reading Psalms in Jewish tradition, these Psalms were put together and they were almost always sung as one long story. This story of suffering, ultimately of going through death to be glorified to heaven and to be with the Father in heaven. And one of the great things which I introduced it when I wrote to you that just changed my whole perspective of the cross, because for years and years I would struggle with the fact that Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Because I always thought, well, the Father never forsook Jesus on the cross. And so I went through all sorts of theories. There's all sorts of theories out there. And then one day I was reading Psalm 22 that starts with those exact words, and my mind just exploded. I realized Jesus was doing what a good Jewish man would do in this pain and his suffering, the suffering servant. Jesus was singing, or trying to sing, in the place where he was at in the process of death, the 22nd Psalm. He was raising it up because it's a triumphant psalm. It starts off with this forsakenness of so many psalms, of lament, of feeling alone, of feeling the pain, but then it goes on to declare the glory of walking as a suffering servant and giving the praise to the Father. What's really powerful, in most modern translations, it doesn't come through this way, but the very last line of Psalm 22 says, "It is finished," which is the last line that we hear of Jesus on the cross. I've really become convinced that a lot of what Jesus, of the 7 last sayings or 7 words they call it of Jesus on the cross, were actually Jesus singing this psalm, and that people wrote down what they heard as he labored singing these psalms. And for me, it gives me hope, because Jesus had this foundation, this structure of these songs, which are what almost all psalms are, songs that he could sing out, and they would give him strength, and they would give him the power to go through what he was suffering through. And so today I encourage you, read these Psalms together as all three. We don't know the song to it, so you can't sing it. If somebody out there really creative can maybe put music to it, you could do that and you can play it for us. We'd love that. But for most of us, just read them together as one continuous story, 22, 23, and 24, and see how God is declared. And so really, these Psalms then relate to Jesus, and see how they speak to who Jesus was, the suffering servant, the good shepherd, and the triumphant king. And then take some time, look through these questions, contemplate the depth of these songs. Even take a few minutes and put them into your modern language. What does this mean for you today? And as a follower of Christ, how do you take these songs and live out the life of Jesus? And ask for that strength today. To have strength for the journey of where you're at in the 21st century, and especially this time of COVID-19 and all that we're going through as a culture. So have fun, enjoy these beautiful, beautiful poems, songs of glory to God in your study today. God bless.